Chapter 19. Fairy Wanna. Silver Moon Villa. The old manor master listened to Yun Mo's detailed description of the pomp and circumstance of the number 1 zither building on this street. What? Building momentum, a piano, and the cannon. Just to build momentum for a piano building. Old manor master unexpectedly looked at Yun Mo. Yun Mo nodded and said, yes, before this, no one was optimistic about this piano building. Everyone thought it was a joke. Until the appearance of the piano piece, everyone thought it was just for the piano. But who would have thought that Gu Hai was doing it to create a momentum? Oh, the reputation of the number 1 piano building on this street is playing out. Now the crowds are surging, cultivators are scrambling to come, and the musical instrument shops in the city are all struggling to get into the no. 1 piano house on this street. The scene, which Master Zhuang didn't see, the goods there, as if they didn't need money. Cultivators are rushing to buy it. Pianos are profitable, but it seems that even if they are profitable, they won't be able to earn as much as the no. 1 piano building on this street. Gu Hai is really something. In order to promote the no. 1 piano house in this street, he actually created the tomb cannon. Not doing his job. Rotten wood can't be carved. The old manor master also cried and laughed. Originally, when the cannon came out, the old manor owner still doubted if it was created by Gu Hai. As a result, not more than a few days later, it did not disappoint the old manor. The version of the cannon changed, and immediately pushed the cannon to a higher level, which made the old manor owner believe that it was created by Gu Hai. However, such talents actually go into business. It turns out that the cannon is for your kin building. Huh. Yun Mo smiled bitterly. Who would have thought the opposite side of the world's first piano building was caught off guard? Who would have thought that Gu Hai used such a way of operation? This way of operation, and also not replicable. Unless you can also sensationalize the attention of the whole city. The world's first piano building. This time to plant a big head, ha ha ha. The old manor master, however, gradually laughed. The world's first piano building is not only planted a big head. Since the street's first piano building officially opened, turnover vertical drop, a day down, cold and quiet. Looking at the opposite side of the queue of people, Zhong Changyi are always cold face. The only into the world's first piano building. Just in the opposite bought a musical instrument. To the world's first piano building to compare the price of the price comparison. Price comparison finished. Without saying anything, go across the piano building and buy a set. This street the first piano building opened 10 days. 10 days down to earn a pot full of money. 10% discount offer has long been over, but still crowded. Business is booming. Under the shopping mall model, the cost of Gu Hai is pathetic. Can earn is the most. Those who entered the business, instead of blaming Gu Hai deductions, but incomparably grateful to Gu Hai, the sales of these 10 days, up to their previous year. The merchants continue to perfect their own instruments. Do not want to be the kin building cancellation. The kin building principle, only the best. You do not strive for excellence, outside a large number of merchants to squeeze their heads to come in. In the middle of Gu Hai's study, Long watching at a piece of paper with strange symbols written on it. What is this? This is Arabic numerals, used for bookkeeping. What you have in your hand is our performance statement. I used to teach it to my group of subordinates, Gu Hai said with a smile. Long Wanqing nodded blankly. Mu Chunfang was also completely confused as he watched the lively scene in the piano building these days. Pre-selling pianos, in Mu Chunfang's eyes, was already a money-grabbing industry. But compared to this piano building, what kind of money was pre-selling pianos? It's just a rainy day. His own group of wood rudder disciples, every day here busy before and after. Gu Hai gave day bonuses, so that a group of wood rudder disciples' heart has been beating rapidly, one by one even more hard up. A group of wood rudder disciples, as if they were about to become water rudder disciples. The number one piano building in this street was in full swing. In the middle of the number one piano building in the sky. Pa! Young Master An shattered the teacup in his hand. In these 10 days, only 6 gukins were opened. This is your achievement, young Master An said in a depressed rage. Zhong Chanyi bitterly shook his head and said, Young Master An, now I finally understand why Guhai took out 700,000 top-grade spirit stones so easily back then. Why? He wanted to buy the world's one zither house. Buy it. Yes, already bought it. The performance of the world's first piano building all ran away from his pockets. The world's first piano building is going to close down. At this rate, it's going to close down completely, Zhong Chanyi bitterly said. Collapse. No, no. If Grandpa knows that I've put the world's one piano house out of business, he'll definitely beat me to death, young Master An said with an ugly face. Yes, the world's first zither building is one of the king's industries, although it's not considered the biggest industry. But every year, it brings a considerable amount of military expenses to the king. If it closes down, Zhong Chanyi said with an ugly face. Then what to do? I'll go and destroy Guhai's zither building, young Master An said in a cold voice. No, if I destroy Guhai's kin building at this juncture, the reputation of my world's number one kin building will also be completely stigmatized. Even without Guhai, there won't be much business at that time, Zhong Chanyi said with an ugly face. Then what to do? We also create momentum to regain everyone's confidence in my world's one kin house. Oh, invite the real Qingdao master to come. Let him play the song. Let everyone know. Guhai that cannon, just a plaything, not useful at all. The Qingdao is not like that. My world's first kin buildings is the real Qingdao. To let all people shocked to despise the cannon, to our as the standard. And our world's first kin buildings Gukin is the orthodox. Gukin, it's not for pleasure. It's not just cheap. It's for fighting. His Guhai's zither is just a plaything. He's cheap but no good, Zhong Chanyi said in a deep voice. Will it work? We have to break down people's confidence in Guhai's kin building. Break down people's confidence in Guhai by using my world's number one kin building as the standard. So it must work. It must work. It must work, Zhong Chanyi solemnly said. A Qingdao master. Haven't you invited many zither Dao masters? Young Master An said in a deep voice. Those? What kind of zither Dao masters are those? They can only be described as zither players. What is the meaning of their zither? If you want to invite, you have to invite a true master, Zhong Chanyi solemnly said. Oh who? Fairy Wanna, Zhong Chanyi solemnly said. Her. Yes, I can't think of anyone else. How strong this woman's Qingdao is. I'm sure the king has mentioned it to you. We're going to use her to bring down Guhai, to bring down the number one kin building in this street, to bring down everyone's confidence in them, Zhong Chanyi solemnly said. Invite her, but it's troublesome. The last time I came to play the zither here, it was only my grandfather's request that she came to play a song. Would I invite her? Young Master An frowned slightly. Young Master An is the first grandson of the king. The only one who can invite Fairy Wanna is you. Therefore, the survival of the world's number one piano building depends on young Master An. Zhong Chanyi smiled bitterly. All right, I'll try, young Master An nodded. The world's number one piano building was already dying, so young Master An didn't stay much longer and immediately headed to Fairy Wanna's residence, the small courtyard where Fairy Wanna was. Fairy Wanna frowned as she looked at young Master An. When young Master An saw Fairy Wanna, a trace of desire flashed in his eyes, but he quickly suppressed it. Young Master An, you're asking me to help the world's one piano house against Guhai. Fairy Wanna stared at young Master An and said, as long as I can crush Guhai, whatever you want, I can give it to you, young Master An said with a face of certainty. Cluck cluck cluck. What do I want, young Master An? Didn't I tell you last time? I want that jade pendant of yours, Fairy Wanna laughed. Young Master Un's eyelids fluttered furiously as he said, "This was given to me by my grandfather to carry with me at all times. I know it's precious. That's why I want it all. Moreover, I can't guarantee that I will be able to crush Guhai, after all. This cannon piece has already reached the highest level in the songs of my creation." Fairy Wanna laughed. Young Master Un was silent for a while before finally nodding. "Just do your best." Fairy Wanna deepened her slender right hand. Young Master Un somewhat reluctantly pulled out a jade pendant from his pocket. The shape of the jade pendant, however, was that of a dragon with a hint of purple halo in its emerald green color. Snap! Fairy Wanna probed her hand and picked it up. Young Master Un watched as the jade pendant was taken, opening his mouth, a little reluctant for a moment. "All right, prepare the terrace at the world's first piano building. Just a terrace as high as the piano terrace. I'll do my best. Not just Guhai. I'm going to teach the entire Silver Moon City a lesson." Cluck 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 cluck. Fairy Wanna's laughter carried a hint of magic. "Good." Young Master Un left, leaving Fairy Wanna alone, clutching the jade pendant in her hand, a hint of teasing smiling in her eyes. "Ah, young Master Un, you dare to give me this jade pendant as well." Cluck 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 cluck. "It took no effort to get it." Fairy Wanna revealed a hint of light laughter and said. Fairy Wanna put away the jade pendant and turned her head to look in the direction of the number 1 piano building on this street. "Cannon, it's a good tune, but so what? You Guhai can only play it. There's no meaning to it at all. I really suspect that you stole this tune from someone else. Huh. The real Qingdao. Is not you like this? The whole Silver Moon City can be my opponent. Only Silver Moon Mountain Village Old Manor. The Old Master. Oh, I'll play a song of dark clouds and tragic world. With me alone, with my song, can I destroy your city?" Fairy Wanna revealed a hint of anticipation. The second day, the Heaven's First piano building was still doing dismal business, but today, the Heaven's First piano building was closing its doors. However, on the 3rd floor, a terrace was cleared, and the opposite side, where the piano was placed, was far away from each other. Some of the cultivators who came to the number 1 piano building on this street also noticed a hint of surprise and turned their heads to look. "Huh, it's Fairy Wanna. It really is Fairy Wanna. I didn't know that the last time I played the zither at the number 1 zither building in the world, she played and left. What a pity I didn't hear it. The world's first kin house invited Fairy Wanna. Is this to fight against Guhai?" Countless cultivators revealed their curiosity, stopping everything from afar and looking towards that terrace. On top of the terrace, it was extremely cleaned up at the moment, and a small incense burner was placed next to it, with faint incense slowly emerging from the burner. A white dress, wrapped in a white veil, Fairy Wanna slowly sat on top of a futon. In front of her stood an emerald green ancient kin. Fairy Wanna tenderly touched it. Not far away at the place of another attic, young Master Un and Zhong Chenyu watched anxiously. Will it work? Young Master Un was worried. A zither Dao Master recognized by the king. Young Master Un, do you still need to doubt? Zhong Chenyu said confidently. A hint of arrogant teasing flashed out of the corner of Fairy Wanna's eyes, and with her right little thumb, she gently hooked a zither string. Ding! Under a loose hand. Boom! The sky steeply exploded with a bang. Above Fairy Wanna's head, suddenly came endless dark clouds out of nowhere. Rolling dark clouds, instantly shrouding the sky above the world's number 1 zither.